torn by what your head tells you should do and where your heart pulls you to? What about when your gut tells you to run, but your head tells you to stay? Let's face it, we all have this inner battle sometimes. It's like we have different captains trying to run the same ship. No wonder it gets messy. Let's meet your 3 captains: your head, your heart, and your gut. Today we're going to look at what's really happening behind the curtains. You'll discover 10 easy hacks you can start using today to make these forces work for you, not against you. Spoiler alert, it may explain why sometimes you are your own worst enemy and how you can actually get out of your own way. Imagine all the time and energy that you would save if they all worked together for you, not against each other and pissing each other off. And that means you'll achieve your goals a billion times faster. So stick around, we're gonna dive right in. First up, the head. Your head is great at making logical, pragmatic decisions. It is great at looking at pros and cons, to make a scoreboard, to calculate, to run the math. Those are its superpowers. But it does suck at finding true happiness and meaning. There are areas where it's terrible at leading, and it's got no business there. Falling in love, finding joy, connecting with others, dealing with pain and emotional trauma, and finding true healing there. Next up, the heart. Now, the heart is in a way the opposite of the head. If the head is what makes the world go round, the heart is what makes the ride worthwhile. It's great at signaling you where you're on track with love, excitement, meaning, that warm and fuzzy feeling when you know you are where you're meant to be. And when you're not, it's also really good at signaling you where, like, get the heck out of here. You're not welcome here. You shouldn't be here. Now, it's good at that, but it's also terrible at protecting you from pain. It's like a child, pure at heart, just going after the thing, the butterfly, and not really looking at, hey, I'm crossing the street and there's a truck coming. And that's where we need other centers to protect you. Third captain is the gut. It's really sharp and quick and good at protecting you against harm. It's amazing at snap decisions. Yes or no, stay or leave, in or out, friend or foe. So it's really essential when there's a bear attacking and you gotta make quick decisions where to run, fight or flight. But it's actually terrible at seeing the bigger picture because it's meant for snap judgments and survival. It's really prone to seeing a snake where it's actually a rope. It's very trauma-centric. So it's important to keep the other centers in check when following your gut because it can get you running from an amazing opportunity, from a loved one, from a safe place. Let's do a self-check. Which center do you find the strongest in you? Leave in the comments down below. Let's have a discussion. For me personally, I lead mainly with my heart for bigger decisions, but during the day-to-day, I've learned to use my head quite a bit because the direct path that my heart suggests is not often practical and it gets me in trouble. Because relying on the wrong center to lead you is like trying to walk with your hands or trying to eat with your feet. Is it completely impossible? No. Does it make it 10 times harder? Yes. Is there an easier way to go about it that saves you a lot of time and energy? Absolutely yes. I used to struggle with this all the time, using my head to pick a career that pays well, but then my heart was kicking me every day when I got up to get ready and go to work because it felt like selling my soul for a paycheck. Have you ever had that struggle? And in personal relationships, I would pick someone that my heart felt very passionate about and was all in and gave me the butterflies, only to have to pick up the pieces and fix their wreckage with my head later on, telling me I told you so. And then I would switch to a relationship where my head approved. It looked great on paper. Other people even thought we made a great team, but my heart was kind of dead. I was dragging her along, trying to logic my way into getting her convinced that, hey, see, this is better for me. And it worked for a while, but then it didn't really move me. That relationship didn't touch me, and it never lasted. I often struggled to pick something that they both agreed to. And then my gut would come into the picture and sometimes just panic and tell me to run, the fight or flight calling. And I would run from situations where later on were missed opportunities. But then again, it felt right to listen to that core snap judgment that wanted to protect me, It was all until I was attending this Enneagram workshop where this idea came up about the triad of different centers that guide us. And it helped me understand how to communicate with each one and value the feedback it shares and actually make them united to work for me, not against each other. And it changed my life. So here are a few tips how you can access different centers. Let's say if your strong suit is your heart and you want to access more of your head to work together to get you to where your heart wants to go, then these tips help you to actually find the shortcut where they can unite and team up for you. What often helps to open up my head center is to have a discussion with her. She's usually quite good at listening. If I have burned that bridge and don't have a good reputation because, let's say, I've let my heart lead for a long time and got in trouble, my head is a little bit suspicious, and she's like, okay, are you really listening? Last 100 times I gave you advice, you just stomped all over it and ignored it. Are you going to listen this time? And sometimes it can actually be a bit passive aggressive, like, I told you so, why didn't you listen? So it's important to have that conversation, acknowledge that, hey, I know you told me, I was, following my heart, and now I know I should have listened to you, so please, let's sit at the table together and have a chat. I really want to hear your opinion. And then asking questions like, all right, this is the big picture. I really want to do something that I love for my career, or I really care about this person. What should I do now? What are the things that, pragmatically speaking, rationally speaking, are going to reduce my chances? And just having that open dialogue with your head and writing down ideas, because when you go into the creative flow, your head will give you perhaps 10 ideas, and it's hard to really dive into each of them and question it. So what helps me personally is to write them down and then go one by one. Hey, you gave this idea. Okay, I hear you. And just, narrowing it down so you can focus on each and have that clarity. For me personally, taking notes really helps. You can write it down with a pen if you're more comfortable writing. For me, typing is easier, so I just usually open my iPad and go about it. There are also games that helps us get more in touch with our head. Playing chess, solving a puzzle, reading articles in your favorite financial newspaper or magazine, for example. Listening to other people who are using their head really helps mine kind of come back to life if I have ignored her for a long time. Now it's time for the heart. If you feel like your heart is kind of out of touch, here are some tips that helps me personally. Listening to music, especially if it's music that you have memories with and it moves you, whether it makes you sad, melancholic, or excited, it brings memories from your past, good or bad, doesn't matter, bittersweet. It moves your heart. It kind of is like jolting it with a shock to come back if you have lost that connection for a while. Being around people you love, that's also another thing that helps. Giving a hug, getting a long hug, that physical connection really helps to shake the emotions that are connected to safety, caring, and that's very much a heart place. Another thing that I see working for myself and other friends who are parents is looking at baby photos of your kid. There's that innocence that directly cuts through, no matter how stressful, busy the day has been, how your head may be owning the steering wheel for a while. Looking at cute baby photos of someone you care about, if you have kids, if you don't, maybe a younger sibling, maybe a niece or nephew that you're connected to. When it comes to the gut, what really helps me is doing things that puts me back in touch with my body. So it could be dancing to music, it could be sensual experiences, taking a long shower and just feeling the warm water run on my skin, anything that puts me in touch with my body. Meditation, breath work, also walking barefoot in the forest really puts me in touch with that earthly, grounded energy. Now, once you have connected to the captain, to the center of you that perhaps was more out of reach, the next step is getting them to talk together. Because let's say you have a good open channel with your head, heart, and gut, but then how do they see eye to eye when it comes to making decisions, when it comes to guiding you through the storm? What helps me personally is to act like a mediator and say, hey, guys, I'm calling for the committee to sit around the table and we have another major decision to make. And I value each one of you's opinion. I'm gonna listen, and some of you may have opposing opinions, but we're gonna make this work. We're gonna get to a united decision that you're all okay with. Maybe the heart is happier and the head is more cautiously optimistic. However, I will not stomp on any one of you because I know you're here with my best interest at heart. And we are a team at the end of the day. You all want my best survival. You want my happiness and success. So I will listen to you and we will make a decision together. And then just see what they have to say and negotiate. Like, for example, with my work, sometimes my heart doesn't feel like doing that. And my head is banging on the door, hey, you gotta pay the bills. So it's not necessarily, finances are not hard decisions to make. And I listen to my head for that. However, I also negotiate with my heart that after work, we're gonna ride the motorcycle to the beach to watch the sunset. I'm gonna take a long shower and just unwind. We're gonna see that friend that I love and always have a great time. So it's like a motivation that then she gets on board to help. So the workday is over faster and then she gets to do what she loves. Or sometimes if she really signals me that, hey, I hate this job, don't put me through this, it's a torture. Then I take a step back and look at it from a bird's eye view that, okay, if my heart is being tormented so much, is this really the right career? Is there perhaps another thing I can look into doing where my heart is on board more? She gets some energy from it. It's not going to be like a hobby, but if it pays the bills and my heart is enjoying it in a certain way, then at least all the forces will move faster and I'll just have an easier workday starting Mondays, You don't want to hate your life waking up in the morning and just kick yourself to work, right? Even if it's not the most amazing thing you want to do, if you are okay with it, then there's less resistance. So that has actually gotten me to change careers a couple of times in my life. Looking back, it has been one of the best decisions I've made. It truly enhanced my quality of life, and it's thanks to my heart signaling me day after day, this is not where I want to be. Hey, come on, get me out of here. And I could use the help of my head to plan that transition in a way that I could still manage my finances and I could find a job with a good salary, even a raise, and my heart was in a happier place after. Remember, the goal is not to pick one over the other. The idea is that you master all three centers and you can use those superpowers whenever it's necessary because they each have their own perks and strengths and weaknesses. Enjoyed this video? Then check out our free newsletter. The link is down below where you can get similar life hacks. And now it's your turn. Share your comments below what center you find most accessible and what center is the furthest from your comfort zone. Also, here's a related video about 3 instincts to find out which one is your strongest and which one is perhaps missing. Also, check out these 3 energy hacks that you can apply easily at the beginning of your day to boost your energy. Spoiler alert, you will never look at yourself the same way in the mirror after tip number 2. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.